reading the 7th chapter of the first book of the Left Behind series, Left Behind. Here's the book. Part 2. Page 129. Security was tied at the Global Weekly building, which somehow didn't surprise him. After identifying himself to a new desk clerk, he rode to the 27th floor, stopped in the public washroom to freshen up, and finally entered the main suites of the magazine. The receptionist immediately buzzed Steve Plank's office, and both Steve and Marge Potter hurried out to embrace and welcome him. Buck Williams was hit with a strange new emotion. He nearly wept. He realized he, along with everyone else, was enduring a hideous trauma that he had no doubt been running on adrenaline. But somehow getting back to familiar territory, especially with the expense and effort it had taken, made him feel as if he had come home. He was with people who cared about him. This was his family. He was really, really glad to see them, and the feeling was mutual. He bit his lip to keep from clouding up, and as he followed Steve and Marge down the hall past his tiny cluttered office into Steve's spacious office/conference room, he asked if they had heard about Lucinda Washington. Marge stopped in the corridor, bringing her hands to her face. Yes, he managed. I wasn't about to do this again. We've lost several. Where does the grieving start and end? With that, Buck lost it. He couldn't pretend any longer. Though he was as surprised as anyone at his own insensitivity. Steve put an arm around his secretary, and guided her and Buck into his office, where others from the senior staff waited. They cheered when they saw Buck. These people, the ones he had worked with, fought with, feuded with, irritated and scooped, now seemed genuinely glad to see him. They could have no idea how he felt. Boy, it's good to be back here, he said, then sat and buried his head in his hands. His body began to shake, and he could fight the tears no longer. He began to sob right there in front of his colleagues and competitors. He tried to wipe the tears away and compose himself, but when he looked at everyone's embarrassed smile, he noticed everyone else was emotional too. It's all right, Bucky, one said. If this is your first cry, you'll discover it won't be your last. We're all just scared as stunned and grief-stricken as you are. Yeah, another said, but his personal account would be no doubt more compelling, which made everyone laugh and cry all the more. Waver talked himself into calling the PanCon flight center early in the afternoon. He learned he was reporting for a Friday flight 2 days later. Really, he said? Don't count on actually flying it, he was told. Not too many flights are expected to be lifting off by then. Certainly none until late tomorrow. Maybe not even then. There's a chance I'll get called up before I leave home. More than a chance, but that's just Simon for now. What's the route? Or to Boston to JFK. Chicago, Boston, New York. Home when? Saturday night. Good. Why? Got a date? Not funny. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Captain. I forgot who I was talking to. You know about my family? Everybody here knows, sir. We're sorry. We heard of the senior flight attendant on your boarded Heathrow run. You got the word in your first officer on that flight, didn't you? I heard something that never got any official word. What did you hear? Suicide. Right, awful. Can you check on something for me? It's my power, Captain. My daughter's trying to get back to wait from California. Unlikely. No, the best she's on her way. Trying anywhere. She'll more than likely try to fly Pan. Can you check and see if she's on any of the manifests coming east? Shouldn't be too hard. There are precious few, and you know none of them will be landing here. How about Milwaukee? Don't think so. He's tapping computer keys. Where would she originate? Somewhere near Palo Alto. Not good. Why? Hardly anything coming out of there. Let me check. Raver could hear the man talking to himself, trying things, suggesting options. Air California to Utah. Hey, found her. Name Chloe with your last name? That's her. She checked in Palo Alto. Put her on a bus to some outlying strip. Flew her to Salt Lake City on Air California. First time out of the state for that plane, I'll bet. She got on a PanCon plane. Oh, an oldie, and they took her to oh brother, Enid, Oklahoma. Enid, that's never been on her routes. No kidding. They were all around with Dallas's spill over too. Anyway, she's flying over Ozark to Springfield, Illinois. Ozark. I just work here, Cap. Well, somebody's trying to make it work, aren't they? Yeah, the good news is we've got a turboprop or two down there that get her up into the area, but it doesn't say where she might land. It might not even come up on the screen because they won't know until they get close. How will they know where to pick her up? You may not. I'm sure she'll call you when she lands. Who knows? Maybe she'll just show up. That would be nice. I'm sorry for what you're going through, sir, but you can be grateful your daughter didn't get onto PanCon directly out of Palo Alto. The last one out of there went down last night. No survivors. This was after disappearances just last night. Totally unrelated. Wouldn't that have been a kick in the teeth? Rayford said. Indeed. Okay, so that's chapter 7 of the first book of the Left Behind series. Left Behind. That was part 2, pages 129 to 133. Take care, everybody. Another video from my Storytime channel. Take care.